What's in here? This has obviously been fixed up in the last few months.
Is this it?
This used to be...
This is our sitting room.
Our sitting room.
Did it?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's changed a bit now.
And then Kensington Palace, or this part of it, was used for our father's, what was it, Prince's Trust Art Studios.
Yeah, the Princess Trust were in here for a while, and then the art studios.
And then the art studios as well.
But they did lots of naked portrait prints in here.
Did they?
Yeah. So we used to look out from Notting Costa. We used to go out and close the blinds, and they'd be like, "What the?" And there'd be some guy in the window like this.
Amazing.
And all these artists come out with their paintbrushes, going, "Ooh," like this. I'm like, "Ooh, that's not normal." Not normal.
That won't be happening today.
That won't
Oh, good, good. We're in your old living room, did you say?
Yes. Yeah, a long time ago. We used to be in here. Yeah, it used to be a playroom.
Happy memories, definitely.
Yeah.
Memories,
Yeah.
Has fatherhood changed you now that you've got the two children?
I'm a lot more emotional than I used to be.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, weirdly. I never used to really kind of sort of get too wound up or worried about things, but the smallest little things I can feel you well up a little bit more.
Right.
And you get affected by sort of things that happen around the world or whatever a lot more, I think, as a father, just because you realise how precious life is, and it puts it all into perspective. You know, the idea of not being around to see your children grow up and stuff like that. But you know, from some of my earliest memories, I remember my mother and father taking us to charities and organisations and showing us, you know, what goes on. And I think it's seeing such a broad spectrum of life. It's really important from a young age to give you a bit of perspective, to go, you know, you don't just live in a palace. It's very important you get out and you see what goes on in the real world.
And you obviously ask him for advice as well on the stuff you're doing.
The advice that he can give us based on the contacts that he's made over the years is incredible.
Yeah.
You can actually ring him up and say, well, I'm a bit of a pickle here, or even better, you can offload stuff.
Yeah.
If someone does say something to me, there's always a little light bulb that goes, hang on a second, I'm in no position to be able to do this for lack of knowledge or whatever. And you just ring and say, Paul, you know, can you do this? And then he's guaranteed to have at least one, if not two people who are specialists in that area, and they can get things done.
The Prince's Trust evolved over time into what it is now, which is this incredible charity that has really, I think, bust every possible limit it was ever set.
Yeah.
It's really done well, and I think he's incredibly chuffed with how it's gone.
We've spent a lot of time with your dad over the last year.
More time than us, but...
Yeah, that's probably has.
Probably.
Yeah, we'll see you at Christmas, yeah.
Oh yeah, didn't need to say we're invited for Christmas lunch.
That's the idea, we get Christmas off.
And we have been kind of bowled over by his energy and his enthusiasm still for the Prince's Trust. And what do you think are his main characteristics, maybe that everybody doesn't see?
I'd say he's got an insurmountable amount of duty in him. He's incredibly driven to do his duty, and that is from a very young age. That's been instilled in him for since then, and it's where a lot of his passion and his drive comes from. I think he relishes the challenge, but equally he's had such a difficult time in getting across some of his points and some of his issues, for whatever reasons they might be. I think it's a real credit that he's managed to keep going as he has, and I really respect and look up to him for that, because it can't be easy to have taken so many knocks over the years and you still keep going and fighting as much as he has.
I remember being very, very small and physically being unable to get to his desk because of the amount of those plastic bags that he has, the work bags that his office has.
Oh, really?
Like six or seven bags either side of him that he just has to go through, and you know, letters from 3 months ago. And you think to yourself, well, why are you still writing letters? You know, fine writing thank you letters, but it's this correspondence, just letters the whole time. Because the amount of stuff you've got to go for. It'd be a lot easier, and you get a lot more things done if you actually picked up the phone. Yeah. Well, guess what? Send a text message.
No, doesn't do modern technology.
Have you heard of email? It's a lot quicker.
I know. His writing, his letters are notoriously difficult to read. But as it gets later in the evening, and it's about 12 o'clock when he's writing letters, we can tell instantly, because it starts disappearing. Where he's falling asleep, he's writing his letter. So you get these long sort of A's that disappear off the page.
At school, we regularly swapped letters and said, I think I know what it says, can you read it to me?
And it was just drivel. What was being said, just in case there was a bollocking we didn't know about.
Everybody growing up was always embarrassed by their parents. Did your dad embarrass you much? Did you ever get...
All the time. A typical, one example, being in a play at school. Yeah. And there was a particular scene that he found very amusing. Much more amusing than the rest of the audience.
Yeah. It wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny, no one else is laughing, but because of something, because he, obviously, like a parent, they know you, and you're putting on this sort of persona or whatever. he just burst out laughing. In fact, my grandfather was there the same night, and it was just the two of them. And that's all I could hear.
I got a very loud laugh, like a really loud laugh.
Amazing.
And no one else laughs. He always laughs at the wrong moment.
Right.
And doesn't think, oh, I should probably stay quiet. Just thinks it's the best thing ever.
I was in a play, and I remember it's called Santa's Smag or something like that. I can't remember. It was some sort of Christmas play, and I was a wizard, and I came on, and I narrated it. And I jumped on stage, and there was meant to be a bit of pyrotechnic explosion in front of me, and I jumped on stage, and nothing happened.
No way.
And so I started reading it, and of course, at this point, I was quite panicky, and then the pyrotechnic went off, and I started reading it, and I was like,
In your face.
Literally, I mean, the laughter from the whole way through, he couldn't stop laughing the whole way through the production. And so even several times, I'd stop and listen to my lines. I cast a little eye across, you know, big death stare, and then I'd try and get back to my lines. It was terrible, honestly.
That ties into the whole family piece, where everywhere we go, everything is sort of rehearsed so much that it's always bang on, correct, perfect.
Yeah.
But we do no more so than our grandfather. Love it when
it
things,
goes wrong.
When things go wrong. And he always tell me, "Don't worry, it'll probably go wrong." And they're like, everyone's like, you know, and then it does go wrong, and they're sort of crying, saying, "Don't worry about it. It's actually now I will remember it even more."
Very memorable.
But it's true.
So there you go. Their dad likes a good laugh. He's not just a distant prince in an ivory tower. He wants to connect with young